Mrs. Gross unfortunately lost her husband, who was a veteran, in February of this year. His services were held at Fluehr's funeral home in Richboro, and he was finally laid to rest at the National Cemetery in Washington's Crossing. During the service and after the service, because Mr. Gross was a veteran, we provided service of an escort from Fluehr's funeral home to the cemetery, along with several other police departments. And Mrs. Gross contacted me last month and wanted to come and make a presentation to the police department for the help that they were providing. Mrs. Gross.
It's very becoming for me to come here. I was raised in Northampton Township, in the original Holland Manor. I know some of you may still know Mickey Schrank, William Paz, Warren Hogan. I went to Richboro Elementary School, Council Rock High School, and it was 7th through 12th in one school, and graduated from County Community College. My husband was a Marine. He was a 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines that went into Vietnam. I don't know the exact year. I did not know until he passed. They were married for 42 years when my son did the eulogy that there were 849 men in his unit that went into Vietnam and only 49 returned. The Vietnam War was a code of silence when these men came back. We were not allowed to talk about it. And I was married for 42 years. I was around military people for years. Not one of them ever mentioned what happened there. My husband was disabled from the Marine Corps. I had quite 15 years with diabetes. No family history of it. He was on insulin by injection immediately. As we went through life, he became what we call now, and you recognize him now, product of Agent Orange. He had diabetes, ischemic heart disease, cardiomyopathy, COPD, stage 4 cancer. There were many years that we did not work. I had always hoped that we had a small house in Pendle, Pennsylvania, that I would come back to Northampton, but I'm a believer that I didn't want to lose my home, so I worked twice as hard to put my sons through school and take care of my husband, of which I did hospice care at home for him as well, because that's where he wanted to be. He never, ever said what happened there. Never talked about it. The people that we dealt with never talked about it. He always wore his hat. He lost his leg in 2008, just below his knee, due to his diabetes. Never complained about it, put that prosthetic on, just took off with it. My neighbor, Mark Snyder, is a police officer in Plumsteadville, and I had been planning my husband's funeral a year before he passed because I knew it was coming. And he always said he wanted a military funeral with the honor guard and everything, but he said, you know, he knew he couldn't get dress blues because he'd gotten so heavy from all the steroids and many, many medications that he had been in over the years. So I started looking online to try and get dress blues because of his size. And my sister breeds labs up in Pipersville, and a gentleman, retired major from Quantico, came up looking for one of the labs, and he said, let me see what I can do for you. Because when we went up online, it was going to be over $1,000 for everything that we needed, and I had told her at the time, because my sons never saw my husband in uniform, knew nothing about his military career, because they just couldn't talk about it. He also suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. So it was going to be over $1,000, and I had said to my sister, I don't care what it costs. This is what I want. He deserved it. And as he used to sit in his wheelchair near the end, he would watch TV or see outside, and all the parades were men coming back from Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. He never said a word, but I knew he felt it. So Mark, when my husband was close to passing, had come over and he said, we would go to their house on 4th of July, and being in the police force, there's a bunch of them that have motorcycles, and they would all have their cycles there and rear them up for everybody. He had asked, he says he didn't want to interfere, but he wanted to provide an escort for my husband to the cemetery got was phenomenal. It was truly phenomenal. And just took us back tremendously. There were 7 organizations involved, 37 people who did participate besides the people who line the streets. This went out on email, Facebook, people who did not even know us. We knew none of these people. Came out. They were concerned about how they were going to close off the 413 bypass. The fire department said, we'll take care of it, and they put ladder trucks across. The rescue squad put trucks across to block the other side. Our State Park was there. The Marines were always known as their code as a few good men. There are a few good men, but there are so many other men and women who are good that put their time into things for the lives of others. And our police force, our rescue squads, and our fire safety for all of us. There's 2 movies, that I think about is the Few Good Men and also The Gladiator. And Maximus died, and the Empress stood there and she said, he was a soldier of Rome, honor him. And I felt that day when I rode in that limo, that he was a soldier of Vietnam, honor him. And they did it. It was magnificent. As my son sat in the front seat of the limo, he said, Mom, did you know about this? He said, Dad's looking down and he's proud. It was something that we will never forget. He waited a long time to be thanked. We did not see it, but I know he knows it. And as a family, we know it. So I could not let this go because you don't wait until people die or they're very, very sick to say thank you. I wanted to thank all those organizations and the men and women who participated and took time from their day to make it a special time for us. So I had this plaque made for everyone. But I wanted to participate, to give. I'd like to read it if I can. This is heavy because this is very heavy. I went up online and wanted something that would be very military. It has a flag. This is made out of crystal. I made 7 of these, one for every organization and the participants. I have been everywhere. And the people came and talked to me with it was pride. It was amazing. But it says, in memory of Staff Sergeant Clement C. Gross, served, this way, March 1st, 1942, to February 13th, 2012. It's with sincere appreciation and honor. We honor Northampton Township Police Department. With deepest gratitude, our family would like to thank you for your participation in providing a police escort from Fluehr's funeral home to Washington's Crossing National Cemetery, honoring our loved one for his service in the United States Marine Corps for this country. Our family was honored with everyone's participation. It will a day we will hold in our hearts forever. And it's signed by Marta Gross, Tim, and Marta Gross.
I accept this on behalf of all the emergency service personnel that you mentioned, and as a Vietnam vet.
We've greatly appreciated it. And when I spoke, I was probably one of the women who spoke at your husband's funeral. After my son spoke, I got up and I spoke because I said, as we all go to Starbucks and what used to be Good Nose and go all out, okay, I always remember this Good Nose. Let's remember, there's a guy sitting in Foxhole, somebody sitting in a Humvee, hasn't eaten, hasn't showered. Freedom isn't free. It costs all of us, some of us dearly, but the rest of us, some appreciate. That all a veteran is looking for is a thank you. In the last 6 months of my husband's life, it was summer, he sat out at the bottom of the driveway in his wheelchair with his hat on. People honked, they waved, because of Iraq and the recognition of veterans now. People stopped and talked to him. It was the best 6 months he had in years. And he knew his times. So I thank you for inviting me here. I wish everybody well. God bless all of us.